Hey guys, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of people on live today, but sometimes that is honestly better because when a whole bunch of people live, it makes me really nervous. So I really feel like I haven't, my hair is kind of crazy. I really feel like I haven't done one of these in a while. I haven't done a live What is Coaching event because things have been going on in my own personal life that has kind of kept me from working on my goals. Work's been crazy. Things with the kids have been crazy. My son has been insanely busy with activities. My daughter has been transitioning to daycare for the last 5-6 months or so. And, just there's tons of changes. And when changes come for me, it often leads to emotional eating, depression, anxiety, weight gain, binging, emotional eating. All those things happen to me when there are tons of changes. I've been saving money. I've been doing Financial Peace University. I've been working. I've been really trying to save up an emergency fund. I never really have savings. Sure, I don't have a crazy ton of debt except for my student loans, but I've never saved. And that's something that I'm working on changing. So all those things kind of compounded together, made me kind of shy away from the live videos, made me kind of shy away from, really talking about my journey, my story, my coaching journey. And I kind of wanted to switch things up today. I usually cover 5 things, what is a coach, what exactly coaches do, how we make money, the training we offer. Those are really the things I usually cover, but I kind of wanted to switch it up this time and more share about my personal story and my journey as a coach, because my journey is a lot different than most coaches. Again, everybody's journey is 100% different, but my journey as a coach is extremely unique, and I think it's a good idea to share these things and be honest and open about what's really going on in our lives, because if we're not being open and honest, and the dog is being crazy loud. So if we're not being open and honest about things, how can people who follow us, how can our customers, our team, how can we really get trust in those people? So that's why I'm going to lay it all out to you. I had wanted to do this live on my computer, but I just couldn't get it to work. I don't know why. So it's going to have to be on my phone, and obviously I'm going to share it over on my business page as my Hot Mess Mom Vlog episode 12. Again, my story and my journey as online health and fitness coach. So my journey into health and fitness started a long time ago. So when I was a teenager, I had major issues with emotional eating. I've always been kind of a bigger girl. I hit puberty early. I had pretty large breasts at 13. So, I've always had some issues with self-esteem, self-image. Come up here, Weezy. Come on. And there's the dog. There's Weezy. She's my biggest fan. She's always down here with me, so she's a good dog. But, that's really when my journey started, because that's when I started becoming really aware of body image. I competed nationally with horses from when I was 14 till about when I was in my early 20s. It's super competitive. My parents put a lot of money into it, so I just always felt like there was a lot of pressure. And that led to, again, a lot of emotional eating, and I had a lot of anxiety in my teen years. I was adopted, and I dealt with a lot of issues with that as well. The issues of, my birth parents didn't want me, all these issues. And I have this hair that is bugging me that I can see. So I had squirrel. Sorry, guys. I get distracted. So I had severe image issues, severe anxiety problems, emotional eating. I didn't really have an eating disorder, but now as I think about it now, I probably did. But mine was binging. I would binge. I would want something and I would just eat it. I ate a lot of McDonald's. Drank a lot of soda, which are a lot of really unhealthy way of living, which is funny because my mom was an aerobics instructor basically my whole entire life. So living an unhealthy lifestyle, I don't really know how that happened. But that's just how life was. I had severely low self-esteem. I was also extremely, extremely shy, which people took to be as me being stuck up, which was obviously the farthest from the truth. I was very, very shy. I was just really bad with strangers. I still can be like that at times. I'm very, very introverted. I can talk to you guys live all the time and not have problems with it. But I used to have problems on video. But I've gotten used to it because, I share me and I'm never trying to be something that I'm not. So it's easier for me to share now than then. Then I would never have shared. I have issues with emotional eating. I binge. I hate my body. That's just how I felt. And, I was shy. I was withdrawn. People thought I was stuck up, which was not even true. Doggy. So when it was time to go to college, I decided to go somewhere far away. So I went up to UW River Falls, which is about five hours from where I live. I grew up in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which is where I still live. So I decided to go to River Falls. I actually also almost went to University of Minnesota Crookston, but that was just way too far and way too cold. So instead I went to River Falls to get an animal science degree. And, my parents paid for my college. They didn't let me work my first year. I didn't have a car my first year. Try to do everything right. I did fairly well in the beginning. But then, I started using alcohol to help me cope. I was in a messy breakup. Things were just rough for me. And, my self-esteem took another hit. Then I started wearing low-cut tops and short skirts and trying to get guys to buy me free drinks because I felt like if I was being intimate with guys, that meant that guys liked me. And that was how I determined my self-worth. A lot of drinking, a lot of smoking marijuana. A little later in my early 20s, I tried some cocaine. So, lots of problems with addiction. I had an addiction to spending. I didn't understand that with credit cards that you would have to pay it back. And, tons of people give college students credit cards. And, I had tons of credit card debt, probably about $10,000 by the time I was 22. So, that's crazily insane. But, I had no concept of money. My parents always paid for everything. I never paid rent. I never paid car payment. I never paid car insurance. I just kind of had stuff and I just didn't really understand what was going on with my life. I just stopped going to classes. I was drinking so much. I didn't take tests. I flunked out of college. Even though I was smart, I graduated with honors from high school, but I let life just get too overwhelming. I didn't deal with my depression and anxiety. I didn't deal with my emotional eating. I didn't deal with my alcoholism. And drug addiction. I didn't deal with any of that. And, I got kicked out of college. I moved up to Minneapolis. I met my son's father. And, obviously things just continued to go downhill from there. I was still an addict. I was still an alcoholic. I worked in Arizona for a year training horses, trying to fix what I thought was going on in my head. And obviously that didn't fix anything because I moved back to Minneapolis, left all my belongings behind, and moved in with my son's father. Things became bad. There was domestic violence. Again, lots of alcohol usage, lots of drugs, drug dealing. It was a horrible situation. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have health insurance. I didn't have savings. I had about $15,000 to $20,000 in credit card debt. A car payment I couldn't afford. I worked 3 jobs. Life was really, really hard. And when life is hard, other things start to happen. So that's when the abuse happened. It was physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. Even after I ended up getting pregnant, the abuse didn't stop. But at that point, getting pregnant just made my mind just stop. said, what are you doing? So, I said, I can't do this anymore. I packed up all my belongings and I drove from Minneapolis down to where my parents lived in Lake Geneva. And I said, things were bad. This is how it is. I left my job with no notice, 4 months pregnant. And, I just laid it all out for my parents. I said, I'm in trouble. I'm in debt. I don't know how I'm going to find a job when I'm 4 months pregnant. I don't have health insurance. I have gone to one appointment with a gynecologist, and that was it. And, obviously I went on state assistance. I sold my car, got back into college, and decided that I was going to go to school to be a social worker. I decided that I wanted to make a difference. When I was needing help from the government, which I never asked for help from anyone before, they made me feel like I was worthless. They made me feel like I was mooching off the government. They made me feel like the worst person ever. Why could you be having a baby and you're not with a father? What's wrong with you? So just the way I was treated made me realize that there has to be a better way for people to be treated. And I just wanted to help people. And that's why I ended up getting my bachelor's and my master's in social work. I did all of that while being a single parent, living with my parents, raising a baby. That the baby just changed my life. It wasn't for him, I wouldn't have moved back home. I wouldn't have got my degree. I wouldn't have paid off my then $30,000 in credit card debt. I wouldn't have a bachelor's degree, much less a master's degree. I wouldn't be a supervisor at a nonprofit. I wouldn't be doing any of those things. And through all of that, I'm still working on me. Obviously, I've gone to therapy. I've gone to support groups to deal with my issues, and then things pile upon other things. Met my husband, we bought a house. Things were great. We were going to have twin girls. And then, obviously things are going fantastic. And then something bad happens. Lost one of our twin girls. I wanted to really do this big, long post and start telling my story more in writing, but I felt like doing it this way was just better. So all of this trauma, all of this tragedy, how does health and fitness work into that? So when I was about to graduate with my master's degree in social work, I realized that I did things a little silly. My bachelor's degree is from a UW school. It's from UW Whitewater. And I had a lot of grants to go to school. So I didn't really rack up a whole bunch of debt. Maybe $10,000 for my bachelor's. 10, 20, somewhere in there. I know now debt is bad. But at the time, I thought $10,000 to $20,000 wasn't horrible at all. And then I decided I wanted to get a master's degree. So it just happened that the timing of when I was graduating with my bachelor's, which I was technically graduating summer 2009, the timing of it just didn't work out to go to UW Milwaukee to get my master's. And I ended up making a really wrong decision and getting my master's in social work from a private university. So that is obviously very, very expensive. And now I have $105,000 in student loan debt. When I looked at what my student loans were, and then I think maybe it was like $75,000, but obviously interest has accrued and things like that, which was also a mistake for me to continue to defer my student loans. But when I realized how much debt I was going to be graduating in 2010 when I was 30, as a single parent, at that time I had $25,000, $30,000 in credit card debt. Car payment, when I had all those things, I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be a social worker. I know social workers don't make a lot of money. I knew it when I was going into the field, but I realized that I didn't need to be rich. And if I managed my money well, I could make it work because other people have made it work. And if I can make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, obviously now I look at it, 30 is crazy. But, I wanted to get this debt paid off. So that's when I started looking at things I could do from home that would help me to pay off the student loan debt. And that is when I learned about Beachbody coaching. I'd been using P90X, I'd been using Beachbody programs, but I didn't really know anything about Coaching Opportunity. And somebody that I've actually went to school with since elementary school was also a Beachbody coach. And she said, I had reached a plateau. I'd been doing Weight Watchers, doing P90X. I'm taking Zumba classes at the Y. And she said, listen, you need to try this Shakeology thing, and you need to do this Turbo Fire, this new program that's coming out. I think that you would love it, and I think you would get fantastic results. So, she was someone that I've known for a while, so I trusted her. And I'm like, well, even if this thing doesn't work out, if I make a little extra money to pay towards my student loans, that's fantastic. And also at the time, I didn't have a job yet. I was still about 3 months away from graduating. And I'm like, well, this will be great. I can work on this while I'm still in school, and then, work harder on it while I try to find a job. Well, luckily, I did find a job. I was working for the state of Wisconsin doing investigations for CPS. Not then knowing what I know now, which is it's an extremely stressful job for not enough pay for the amount of hours you put in and amount of stress. But, I was losing weight, making a little extra money. My Shakeology was obviously paid for. I knew I was making a little extra money. I was putting it towards my credit cards at the time. And, I'm like, I can really, really do this. So I worked and I became at a rank that they call Diamond within 100 days. And just really kept building it slowly and surely. And I just kept building it while I kept losing my weight. So for the first about a year and a half that I was a coach, I was making probably like $300 to $400 a week. I was pretty happy with that. And I lost 75 pounds. I finally reached my goal of 160 pounds, and I was so excited. I share the picture often from 2011. You can think, wow, that was 6 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, I've been a coach for 7.5 years almost now. I've been involved with Beachbody, and that's never going to change. I tried other things, and my passion is with Beachbody and Shakeology, and now with Beachbody On Demand, it's even better because it's like Netflix for your workouts. Just for me, going to the gym doesn't work. And that's where Beachbody works for me. Like, I can get up at 5 a.m., I can do my personal development in the morning, and I can get my workout done before everybody else is up. And for me, that is ideal because if I'm going to go to the gym, it takes me 10 minutes to get to the gym. I have to get dressed. I have to go. I have to use machines, be there for about an hour, come home. That just won't work because my husband has to leave for work at 7. So, that won't work for me. I'd have to leave my house at like 4:45 in the morning. So, and I can do it in my gym. And yeah, I do live videos of my workouts for my challenge group. But, that's just what I do. I run free groups every month. I run paid groups every month. People that just have Beachbody On Demand, people that have Shakeology, people that just are looking for some support and accountability. For me, it's not about the money. There was a time for me that it was difficult for me because it was about the money, because for the first 18 months of my daughter's life, I had got Beachbody up to a place where it supported my family, where it had doubled my income that I was making as a social worker, and I was able to stay home with my daughter for 18 months. But then those dang student loans just were looming over my head, and I said, I can't just let these just sit here. So, that's why I went back to work after 18 months, is that, I need to get rid of these student loans. Once all my debt is gone, which is some medical bills and student loans, once all that's gone and I saved up for a car that I'm going to pay for in cash, and I have an emergency fund all set, that's when I'll think back about stepping away from my social work job. But I need to get that student loan debt paid off for my family. I can't wait the 10 years for the loan forgiveness. I just can't do it. I can't stay in debt that long. So, that is really, Beachbody has paid my bills before. Beachbody made it so when my daughter passed away, we were able to pay off those medical bills and pay off her funeral expenses and her burial. All those things that the ambulance ride to the hospital. These are all things that you never think about having to pay for, but we had to pay for those. And thanks to Beachbody, we were able to do that. We cash flow part of our wedding thanks to Beachbody. We've gone on 2 cruises Caribbean cruises thanks to Beachbody, one being our honeymoon. We've gone to Vegas 3 times, Nashville twice thanks to Beachbody. We have saved money to renovate 2 bathrooms. We have saved money to replace our floors, and we're going to be putting in a new French door next month. And thanks to Beachbody, that's how we're able to do those things. And then next summer, we're going to redo our kitchen. So all these things we're getting to do thanks to Beachbody. And we know that eventually all our crazy student loan debt is going to be paid off. We're going to be debt free except for our house. And that is the point where I'll be able to step away from my social work career and just run my business. Beachbody isn't going anywhere. I've been doing this 7.5 years. Sure, there's been ups and downs. There's obviously always going to be. Beachbody is not get rich quick. No way. There's no multi-level marketing company or home business that you can do where you can get rich quick. I've made as much as $1,300 a week. I've made as little as $100 a week. It just really fluctuates. And it really is dependent on the amount of work you put in. So if I'm dealing with my own crap and not putting in the hours I used to put in, so usually when I was making the $800 to $1,200 a week range when I was doing this full time, I was putting about 10 to 15 hours a week. I had a baby, she took up a lot of my time. I got to do a lot of things with my kids that I would have never gotten to do if I was still working at my social work career. And I will be forever grateful for Beachbody for those 18 months that I got to spend with my kids and for the things we've been able to do with Beachbody income. Even though I still struggle with emotional eating. I'm still not at my goal weight after my second 75-pound weight gain. I'm healthier. I'm happier. I'm getting to the point where I feel better about myself. So every day it gets better. Teaching my family about healthy eating, about how you have to work for the things that you want. And really showing that you can have a career outside the home. You can have kids. You can have a family. You can have a husband. But you can still put time into yourself. You can still work a home business. At this point in time, I would maybe 5 to 10 hours a week is probably about what I put in. But that's okay. It's all about giving people content, giving people inspiration, motivation, helping people feel like it's doable for them. And that is really why I'm a Beachbody coach. Again, I don't have a crazy big team like I used to. I don't run huge, big challenge groups. That's just not me. That doesn't work for me and my style. I'm much more, I want to have a group of 5 to 10 women. I like to do, my free groups tend to have 5, 10, 20. I've had 50 in a group before, but that can sometimes get overwhelming for the introvert inside me. But through all this, obviously I've had ups and downs. Obviously nothing is certain, but nothing is certain in your regular full-time job. I mean, I could get laid off tomorrow. You never know. So that's why I have this beautiful little dog. Yeah. But that is why I have this plan B, is because my phone is just being crazy. So if I was to get laid off tomorrow, what would I do? I have a plan. I know what I'm going to do. I have a plan B. Just how I was able to stay home with my daughter for 18 months. Sure, I didn't just get to officially stay home, but with the over $100,000 in student loan debt, I couldn't do that to my husband. That's really not fair. So that's really, in a nutshell, a 25-minute nutshell, who I am. I'm going to obviously be sharing this on YouTube and on my Facebook page. So if you're new to my page, I know I have probably about 100 new followers this week. So that is pretty amazing. I love meeting new people. So I'm trying to send messages to those new people. But if I miss you, please just send me a message. I would love to chat with you. We can talk about our kiddos, what you do for work, about your family, about your health and fitness goals. As I said, for me right now, it's not about the money. It's really about helping other women, because I've been there. I've been at the point where I had to put my Turbo Fire workout and my Shakeology on my last bit of my balance for my credit card. I maxed out a credit card to get Shakeology and Turbo Fire, and I knew that the only way to stay on my Shakeology was to pay off at least that much of a balance on my credit card every month. And I did that every month from that point on, and plus more, because at this point I have no credit card debt, and that is pretty insane. People can say, you know, how do you do it? People need credit cards to live. No, you don't. Debit card and cash work just as well as a credit card. So, you know, that's kind of just what I wanted to come and share tonight, is kind of my story as a coach. You know, obviously I've done extremely well, and I'll say right now and right here, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. Each individual person's results comes from their individual effort. So make sure I include that. I will also include that in the title for this video, because I got to make sure I put the disclaimer on there. You know, because making claims of $1,300 a week is frowned upon if you don't do the disclaimer. So my email and everything is blowing up. So again, I'm trying to reach out to all my new followers this week. So again, if I miss you, please reach out to me. I love to get to know new people through Facebook. It's like the best part of social media ever, is getting to know new people. So I hope everybody has a fantastic Tuesday night. And 2 weeks from now, I will be doing another one of these live events, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about what exactly coaching is, more about the logistics behind it, like how you get started, how much it costs, how much money you can make, all those super fun things, what I do on a daily basis, which is pretty simple. Really, what I do on a daily basis is I'm a product of the product. So I do my workouts every day, I drink my Shakeology every day, I eat healthy every day, and I share it with you guys. I also do personal development every day. I reach out to new people, invite people to either my challenge group, my free group, or one of these coaching events. And I also follow up with the people on my list. I have tons of people that I connect with on a daily basis, and I try to keep up with my list, but I don't always do the best at that. And I recognize my team, my customers, my clients, my coaches. I recognize them for all the great things that they do. So, I mean, that's really all I do on a daily basis. I post on social media. I make a YouTube video every day of my workout. I love to post on Instagram, post on Twitter, post on Facebook. And, you know, I'm really getting to the YouTube thing, so it's getting better. And I'm working on being more consistent with my Hot Mess Mom vlog. So this would be episode 12 of my Hot Mess Mom vlog, and I'm trying to do them Monday through Friday at about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope everybody has a fantastic Tuesday night. I'll see you guys later. Bye.